I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me. I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.
All right, what is up? Happy Wednesday. What is up, everyone? Welcome to a look behind the curtain with Chris. We are currently in season 2, episode 16. Very excited for another episode here today. Always a pleasure that I get to talk with such amazing people. And that's why this whole show truly exists, is to share with you truly amazing people with inspiring stories. On my channel, obviously, it's very heavily veteran based, since that's who I am and a lot of who I work with. So we have a lot of veterans come on, although we do have the occasional special guest who is not a veteran who comes on and shares their story, shares their experience, their mastery. But today we do have a diehard veteran, a diehard military person. The gentleman we're going to be sharing with you here in just a little bit, and we'll tee him up and bring him out, is someone who's become a close, dear friend to the OVF. And so very excited to chat with him today and share his vision and his mission with all of you. Before we do that, we just got to take care of a little bit of housekeeping and, of course, our show sponsor. So for those of you guys who are just brand new tuning in for the first time, definitely make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit that little bell to notify all so you never miss any of our content. The media team is working very hard behind the scenes to make sure that we have 3 videos a week going out, and that's going to be starting up here very, very soon, and you're not going to want to miss any of that content. So definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button. Secondly, I'm using a piece of technology called StreamYard. What's beautiful about this is that no matter what platform I'm on, I can still engage with you and interact with you and see your comments, much like the one I dropped for you guys very early on. So it allows me to see your face, see your name, and interact with you directly, which is something that I absolutely love to do here in the show, is actually chat with you and get your feedback and answer your questions here live. It's one of the rare, occasions that you'll actually get to pick the minds and get additional insight from some of these amazing people that I have the opportunity to share with you. So with those things being said, let's talk about today's sponsor. Today's sponsor of this show is Operation Veteran Freedom, or the OVF, as you can see here. It is an organization that's designed to help veterans, to give them hope, to show them how to literally thrive in this new digital economy. And we do that through very simple, broken down processes, Barney style, starting with books, trainings, coaching, all sorts of stuff that we can do to really help. And we're actually putting on a completely free, no pitches, no sales presentation, just completely value-based workshop this weekend to help you level up your life, start hitting your goals and getting results. I know that's been a huge ask for people, is how do we do that for so many people? And so what we're going to do is do a huge live workshop this weekend where we share exactly with you our method, our proven framework for doing exactly that. So the link will be down in the description if you want to sign up for it. It is live this weekend and 100% free. So with all that being said, guys, again, I'm really, really excited to have today's guest on with us. I had the opportunity to meet this gentleman actually through my advertising, through the marketing at OVF, and he immediately kind of made himself well known with inside the OVF community. As you guys are going to tell from chatting with him, he is very well spoken, very educated, and he has a burning desire to create better lives for people in this world, especially the veteran community. And we're going to be touching on all of that here tonight. He is the founder of the Veteran Resource Network, which I'm sure we'll talk about again here tonight. He is a Marine Corps veteran, and he is also a OVF Inner Circle member, which there are less than a dozen on the planet right now, and all of them have definitely earned that title. So without further ado, please help me in welcoming to the show, Mr. Andre Rivera. What is up, brother?
What's going on? Semper Fi, my friend. How you doing?
Outstanding. Doing very, very well.
All right.
Absolutely gorgeous here in Arizona right now, as I'm sure it is for you in Florida.
Oh, it's beautiful here. I lived in Arizona. Arizona's nice too, but I think South Florida got you beat, brother.
You got the ocean, right? So you can't beat that. I mean, the humidity is bad, but as long as you can get to the ocean,
I'm right next to the ocean.
Help out, right?
Yeah, I'm less than a mile from the ocean. So yeah.
Perfect. And so you might notice I actually did a custom backdrop for you, South Florida backdrop on.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
So you'll feel at home. Man, I'm really, really excited to chat with you. It's actually been a little while since you and I chat because we're both so busy. So it's exciting to kind of just see what's been up with you. But before we dive in and chat about all the amazing things you have going on right now, for everybody who's watching who may not know who you are, where you come from, what you're about, give us a quick 5-minute, who is Andre? Where do you come from?
Okay, quick. Originally a New Yorker, like all Floridians, right? And I've always wanted to be a Marine since I was a kid. I grew up in a rough neighborhood, and it's something I always wanted to do because I hated bullies. I saw people getting. My mother actually got mugged 3 times on the subway, so it was something I always wanted to do. So I wrote to the Marine Corps when I was 14 years old, and they actually wrote back to me. So I think that's the funniest thing. I got it in I have my little letter. It's like right in the back of my certificates. I have my letter from the Marine Corps when I was 14. So it's something I always wanted to do. I finally enlisted. I did 12 years in the Marine Corps, and I was super nerd. It wasn't like I tell people I had 6 MOSs, but I always tell everybody it wasn't like they were like, hey, the only man for the job is Andre Rivera. It was nothing like that. It was more like, ooh, can I go? So I got 6 MOSs. I was a forward observer. I was a naval gunfire spotter, artillery scout, joint tactical air controller, jump master. I was airborne. I was a firearms instructor, primary marksmanship instructor in the Marine Corps. We call it a PMI. I was a martial arts instructor. Went through SEER school, embarkation specialist, load planner. Like I just volunteered for they tell you not to volunteer. I did the exact opposite. I volunteered for everything I could possibly do. The reason being, I just told you when I was 14, this is what I wanted to do. So I got to do it. So I did that for 12 years. And after that, I worked in the field of biometrics and forensics, anti-terrorism and force protection for the DOD with a top secret clearance. So I worked in a U.S. Army Intel Center right there in Arizona. Mm-hmm. I was out there in Fort Huachuca. Then I moved from there to CENTCOM and SOCOM. And after that, I had tragedy that struck my life and I had to restart everything. And but that was a great lesson for me, because it's perseverance, perseverance and discipline are the key to making it, at the end of the day. I strongly believe that. I believe you can't quit. And you have, but just not quitting is not enough. You got to do, so that's where the discipline comes in. That's why you need both. You can't just have perseverance and you can't just have discipline. You need both. And I did that. I went back to school, got my master's in business, started several different businesses. I was a farm instructor, so I had all these high speed, cool ideas. And eventually I found myself in real estate, selling real estate property right here in South Florida. But I also, going through my journey where I lost everything in my life, I found that I was very close to suicide. I was very close to being one of those 23 veterans, 22, but I was going to be the 23rd one, right? And I found what I feel strongly is the solution to mitigating anxiety, depression, and suicide among veterans. And that's where we linked up because we're on the same exact mission in a way, very close, related. I think we're just stepbrothers or cousins, whatever, but we're on the same mission. We're trying to help veterans be successful. And why? So when I present what I do, at first people go, oh, you're just starting a business for veterans. I'm like, no, it's deeper than that, because there's lots of great organizations out there that are giving, like Wounded Warriors, and there's tons of organizations out there giving free tickets to movies and hockey games and football games. Mm-hmm. And those are great. Jiu-jitsu is phenomenal for veterans suffering from anxiety and depression, 100%. But at the end of the day, that's not a solution. That's a Band-Aid. All of those are just Band-Aids. They're not gonna solve that. At the end of the day, after jiu-jitsu, after the movie, after the football game, that veteran still has anxiety, still has depression, still very close to being suicide. So how do you solve that? Well, you give veterans purpose again. That's what I strongly believe in. You give veterans purpose, you routine and stability, like they had when we served. When we served our country, when I was served, we had routine, we had stability, and we have purpose. So how do you give veterans that again? Through business development and professional development. That's where you guys come in. Mm-hmm. And that's why when I found you guys, I was like, man, we're like peanut butter and jelly, bro. I'm trying to do the same exact things, except I'm not modernized like you are. You're exploiting the capabilities out there right now that a lot of folks are not exploiting. Even tech savvy folks are not exploiting, landing pages, squeeze pages, and sales funnels like you guys are. Yeah. So with all that said, and I'm sorry, I think I went over 5 minutes, but
no, you're good. It's good.
I'm kind of segueing right into what we're going to talk about. is that then I was like, what can I do? So I went to Syracuse University in 2018, and I briefed my concept of a warfighter veteran sanctuary, and what this would be a facility, somewhat like an American Legion, but no alcohol. And where veterans can go for the focus on business development, because I want veterans to not just go to a place where we're just going to drink and talk trash, play bingo, and eat chow. I want us to go somewhere where we can be productive and with like-minded overachievers, because veterans are overachievers. We're the guys from our small towns that took the risk. We're the guys that were like, hey, go to another country that I've never left Brooklyn. What do you mean go to another country? We're the guys that said, F it. Let's go do it. Let's go to another country. Let me take a risk. Boot camp. You see the movies. Oh my God, scary. We're the guys that went. We are different. We're mutants. You know, we're not like the rest of the population. But that is great for entrepreneurship. That's great for business development. That's great for leadership. I mean, so we have all those qualities. So how do we exploit that? So I said, I want to create this facility, but there's no money for that. There's money for all these other things, solutions. But for this that I really believe in, it's really tough. So I said, what can I do? So I started with a website. I go, let me make a vendor list. Let me start approaching veterans right here in South Florida and going, hey, brother, you got a business? You got a plumber? You're a plumber, you're an electrician, you're a general contractor, attorney, loan officer, realtor, whatever you are. Do you want to join my group? It doesn't cost you anything. We're going to build a group and we're going to send referrals to each other. We're going to meet every month. We're going to have a podcast and we're going to start to grow. And that's where we're at now. Mm-hmm. And then just 3 weeks ago, I received my official letter, which is retroactive. So I'm good back as January. We're a 501c3 now. We're official. So now I can start asking for donations to grow. And also, most importantly, the last thing I want to say about my concept is that most importantly, it's not just a vendor list. It's called a Veterans Resource Network because I want it to be a resource for veterans. I want veterans to get out there to find jobs, to find other nonprofits because we have nonprofits there as well. But most of all, also for transitioning veterans. And that's what we're working on now. That's what I'm trying to create. And I really need your help. You and Liam, I need your help on this because what I want something. So when these veterans come off of active duty, okay, so they got to start their business. That's phase one, start the business, put in the paperwork, pay the state fees, etc. I want to walk them through that. But then after that, how do they start their business? Who do they talk to? Yeah. Well, then we have our mentors. We have our 50 veteran businesses. But then after that, okay, well, how do I get my services? How do I get the public to know that my services or the products that I'm providing? That's where you guys come in. Well, that's where we can start working on these sales funnels and building them. And what I like about what you guys do is, you don't just, it's not like philosophy. It's not like we're sitting here and talking philosophy. Like you bust out the Legos and we're actually building. We're building the block. We're putting the building blocks together. We're putting the sales funnels together. It's got to be customized. It can't be cookie cutter. It's like as much work as you put in, that's what you're going to reap. You reap what you sow. Mm-hmm. Nothing is that is so prevalent, especially in this what we do here, in this capability. Because if you half-ass your requirements when you're putting it on paper, on pen and paper, when you transfer it to the digital format, it doesn't make it better. So you got to put some effort in there and really look at what kind of audience you're looking at, who you're targeting, and that's where you guys come in because you do that very well. In letting us streamline how we're going to put this sales funnel, and make it a reality, not just like a pie in the sky concept that doesn't really, attract the people that we're trying to get. So I think in a nutshell, that's what we're trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do.
I appreciate that. That was a lot. And then, honestly, everything was needed to be said. So it's perfect. And there's a lot to unpack there. I'm sure we will. But I just want to touch on something that you mentioned there towards the end that I think is so powerful. And it's been mine and Liam, who is the co-founder of OVF, for those of you guys maybe who are just tuning in for the first time, it's been our main focus, right? In the last year of OVF, we've had a lot of great success helping established veteran businesses create even more success for themselves. But the number one thing that we really want to help is the transitioning veteran, right? Because that's when Liam and myself and a lot of the people that we work with, we're suffering the most. We're the most lost we've ever been.
Yes.
And so it's awesome that you and I linked up on this very same concept. We're very, very peanut butter and jelly about this, where there has to be something better. And yes, I also 100% agree with you. Entrepreneurship is the best answer. But what we have found in the last year is there's a missing piece between leaving service, whether it's law enforcement, whatever it may be, military. There's like a disconnect. There's a missing piece between actually leaving the service and then starting your new life. There's a piece that's missing. And I'm really excited because we've been using it on certain people. You've actually been exposed to a bit of it yourself, being inside the inner circle. And now this weekend, we're actually launching a huge workshop where we go from A to Z, the entire framework of what we use. And it's going to be, I think, exactly what's been missing. Because like you said, we can build funnels and do targeting all day. That's what we do. But there's a missing piece, right? And so I'm really excited about that. And I'm sure that you and I are, like you said, we're peanut butter and jelly. There's a lot we could be doing. We're going to be doing together. But for everybody else, let's unpack it a bit. Let's go back.
Okay. So
long, I like to say 10 year, obviously, for those of you guys who are not privy to that term. I don't actually mean 10 years. 10 years is like a professor who's been there forever kind of thing. So in your tenure in the military, you got a lot of time there, a lot of experience. Obviously, you don't stay in and work with the government for as many years as you did without having some sort of love for that, right? And so what I want to ask you is, what are the three main characteristics that a service member can lean back on or count on from their time in service?
Oh, like characteristics?
Yeah.
Characteristic. Okay. Number one is discipline. The ability to do what you don't want to do, but you know it needs to get done, so you do it anyway. That's my definition of discipline. And I'll tell you what, and that's a daily struggle. I could sit here and tell you, hey man, I wake up, I'm like David Goggins, man. David Goggins want to be like me, but it ain't like that. Right. And then you got to add the fact is like, and I'm going to use today as an example, man. I'm going to be personal here. Like I woke up today. Today was one of the worst days. I woke up just in pain. I was a jump master. I jumped out of airplanes for 10 years. When I was a kid, they didn't tell me that was going to catch up with me. They thought, it was cool. We get the cool guy badge. I got my gold wings. I'm badass. Nah, I wish I could turn that in and get my back back, But I wake up and I'm in pain. And sometimes I'm like, man, it's hard. It's a struggle to go to the gym. It's not the discipline to go, not a problem. The discipline to get through the pain. So that takes some work. So that's the first characteristic, I think, is discipline. I think you got to be able to face what you hate the most and do it anyway, and then do it like you like it. And the better you get at doing that, the more success you're going to see. What happens is people avoid what's uncomfortable, and then they wonder why they're in the same place. And everybody's different because everyone has a different. Everybody's different professions, different requirements, different needs. But that's the first one. The next one, I think I mentioned it earlier, would be perseverance. In the military, I think that's a trait, the will to continue when you should just quit. I mean, that is instilled in everybody. I don't care if you're Coast Guard. I don't care if you're Air Force. I don't care what branch you're in. That's instilled in you to not quit. And again, just like courage, it comes in different forms. It's not necessarily physical. It could be emotional, it could be mental, it could be physical, it could be a bunch of different things, but the will to not quit and to just continue and persevere even in the face of disaster, that's important. And those are traits that I rely on my daily life today to just make it through, because the struggles of I'm a disabled veteran. On paper it's 80%, but I know I'm at 200. I'm at 200. You ever see the meme with the RoboCop where he's down there and he's all busted up in pieces and they're like, you're 10%.
Yeah.
Yes. That's actually how I feel. And then the third one is it's one word for many different things, but I would say it would be our ethos, our values, our integrity, however you want to call it. I think all those combine somewhere there, but it's basically that when you meet another veteran, and we're far from perfect. I'm not sitting here to tell you, we're these knights in shining armor. We're far from it. But I can tell you one thing about veterans: we have an objective that we try to strive for. That's why we have, as young veterans, as young service members, they always idealize like the heroes, the young heroes of World War II and Vietnam, and it's to give us something to look at and to strive for. It's not saying, hey, you got to be just like them, but hey, that's a goal. That's who we want to be. And I think in the military, they instill those values, to be honorable, to have integrity. Do we do it all the time? Am I a saint? No, absolutely not. But at least I know what's right and wrong, So it's almost like our religion. Our religion, it's not a religion of praying to God. It's to do the right thing. And at the end of the day, I guess and it does help. And it comes back. And it's not so much that I believe in karma, because the reason I say that is because I know a lot of good people that shitty things have happened to, so I'm not necessarily believe in karma, but I believe it when you do enough bad things, people start to not like you, and bad things will start to happen to you. And it's not karma; it's more like math and probability.
Yeah,
so I think it would be. So back to it. To answer your question, I would say it's the discipline, it's the perseverance, and it's our integrity or our ethos that we live by, our common values. And I always lean on those to, especially when things are foggy in life and you're not sure what to do. I try to stick to those three at least. And there's other characteristics too, but you gave me those three, and I try to, press.
No, yeah, I love that. And I can completely relate. Like if I look at, the characteristics from my time in service, I was not a very disciplined child. That's for sure.
No, me neither.
I'm very disciplined now.
Yeah.
And that comes from the regiment and the amazing sergeants and people in my life that I had who instilled that in me. Right. And one of the things that I loved when you and I first started chatting, and it instantly, it was like, oh yeah, peanut butter and jelly for sure, was your take on why someone should hire a veteran. Absolutely. Why someone should go with a veteran business over a regular civilian-based business. What is your take on that?
Oh, I love that question. So I always say, that's and that goes with our motto for Veterans Resource Network, or VeteranNet. VeteranNet, we always say, thank a veteran, hire a veteran, or thank a veteran for their service, hire a veteran. You know, and because we say, everyone says that, it becomes like a muscle memory, knee-jerk reaction, I should say. Now I carry my business card, because on my business card, I have one over there. I'll show it to you later. But on my other side, I have the veteran. I have my side, my real estate side. On the other side, I have my network. And as soon as someone says thank you for your service, I pass that. And on the card itself, it gives you the answer to that. It says, I have a flag, I have a silhouette, veteran saluting, and it says integrity, commitment, discipline, timeliness, attention to detail, and all the characteristics that you get for free. So you can hire this plumber who's a civilian, and you might, it's a gamble. You might get him squared away. I'm not saying that civilians can't be locked on, because they're very squared away, but you hire one of us, especially from our network, 100%, he's going to be locked on. He's going to be AJ squared away, high and tight and to the right. He's going to be locked on. Yeah. So, hire us. So one, because it's the patriotic thing to do, it's the right thing to do. You're always saying, thank you for your service. Well, now you have the opportunity to actually meet those words with reality. And number three, you're getting so much more, and you're not paying extra to get all of that. You're just getting a veteran that has integrity, who has pride in his work, who has the same passion he did for his profession, but it's just a different profession. The same passion he did when he served, but now he just redirected that passion into something else.
Yeah, I love that. And I love what you mentioned there. Like, there are definitely civilians out there who are top-notch masters.
100%. And there's veterans that are complete
shitbags, exactly. But what I also love that you said is that you take the time at Veteran Resource Network, or VeteranNet for those guys who may be looking for it online, because it's veterannet.com, not Veteran Resource Network.
No, it is. It's actually veteransresource.network.
Oh, okay. It's been changed.
I got to get all those domains, because you're right. It's going to get confusing. I got to eventually get all
those. But what I love about it is that just like any top-notch program, everyone's vetted, right? Do you live, not just claim, but live the ethos of a veteran, of someone who has served with integrity, with honor, with discipline, and you guys vet them out and making sure. I mean, there's a reason why your organization is growing, while your network is growing like it is, because you guys really do stand behind that. So that's awesome.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. What is the 5-year plan, the dream outcome for Veteran Resource Network?
Okay. I actually kind of spoiled it right in the beginning. Warfighter Veteran Sanctuary. That's my goal. Yeah. That's what I want. And so I do have a goal. So right now, our solution is scalable, because, it's mostly online, and it's mostly just meeting people and networking. I already had people from Texas telling me, can I start it over here? Can I have your permission? I'm like, my permission, please. I'll give you my blueprints. I want this in every city. It's not about it's one, I don't make money off of this, but two, it's not like some kind of scheme or anything. This is a solution that's organic, grassroots, that we can do, and we can have it all in every major city. And it's basically just a network of veterans. Now, eventually, it's a network of veterans that are productive in business. That's so powerful. I mean, I want veterans to really understand that. When you get a room and you got an attorney there who's a veteran, who's moto, who's a motard, he's motivated as hell, and he's an attorney. And then you got one who knows real estate. He knows how to buy commercial property, let's say. And then you got another one who's an accountant. You put all these guys together, and they come up with a plan. Yeah, it's like the A-Team. Remember the old show, the A-Team, with Mr. T, and everybody had a specialty? I feel like I have the A-Team every day, and I do it. I mean, we don't have to be in a meeting all the time. I use them all the time. I'm selling a home, or I'm doing something in business, or with one of the nonprofits, because I'm in 4 nonprofits, and I will just call a veteran from my network and say, hey, I need help with this. Has nothing to do with what I'm doing, but I have people, and I want every veteran in America to be able to have that same thing that I have, that they can pick up the phone and right away they're linked in. Not like, hey, do you know someone that can do my lawn? It's like, no, I'm going to call my network of veterans that I know they're going to be on time. I know they're going to have integrity. I know they're not going to screw me over, because if not, they're going to get kicked out the network anyway. I mean, that's never happened, but we're squared away. We have to maintain that reputation. So that's scalable. So then my 5-year plan, I would love to have a facility, because I think veterans need a clubhouse. Veterans today don't have a clubhouse. People will argue and say, we have the VFW. That's all alcohol-based, bingo, antiquated, stubborn, and they will not change. Same with American Legion, DAV, for the most. Now, there is an exception. There's one phenomenal American Legion here that is completely a black sheep out of all the American Legions I've ever seen. But 99% of them are all the same. I want a facility where veterans go there where we have this is the 5-year plan. Have a facility for business where we can get together, have meetings, where we have a scanner, printer, presentation area. But then the rest of the facility is for recreation, because I don't want just veterans to go there just for business. I want veterans to hang out there, like an American Legion, but not based on the alcohol, not focused on the alcohol.
Right.
Instead, we'll have tables where people can hang out, Xboxes. We can have karaoke nights, salsa nights. Just actually, I like it to emulate the MWRs that we had downrange because they were so much fun. For being in the middle of a war, an MWR was actually pretty nice to have out there because they had all that. So I would like it to emulate an MWR, but with a focus on business and being productive. But I think veterans don't have a clubhouse. We don't have a place to congregate and meet. And the VFW and the American Legion are not meeting those requirements for the modern warfighter.
I love it. I love that dream. I have a very similar one. When we first chatted, I talked about, and so for some of the viewers, you guys might understand, Rob Deerdeck, he's, part owner of DC Shoes. You had, Robin Big, the show Fantasy Factory on MTV. And so based on that show, Fantasy Factory, where he had him and all his friends who were, in different industries doing different things, but they all basically had their own offices for their businesses, but they also had, giant meeting room, but then they all, like, the whole downstairs was just to, like, cut loose and be creative and have fun. And it reminds me much of, like, the modern day, like, Google offices, where it's like they have sleeping pods, you know what I'm saying? Where, you're having fun and you're cutting loose and it's a relaxed environment, like, but at the same time, the productivity levels and the skill set learning and the mastery that's going on inside those walls, it is unprecedented as well. And so I always wanted the idea of, like, the people I'm running in business with, whether they, we're collaborating or they're in the same industry or have the same kind of business model, but in a different industry, we can all have a place where we go together, mastermind, and have, like, basically offices. But what you're saying has so much more benefit to the world and could help so many more people. And like Liam and I both said to you when you first told us about the idea, any way we could support you in that, we definitely are all in, because that's something that we truly believe, much like what we're trying to build here at the OVF, what you're trying to do with the Warfighter Sanctuary is something that really can change the entire community and the stigma that comes with it, right? 100%. That we're a bunch of drunks, that we're broken, that we're hotheads, all these stupid things that come with, especially those who have seen war, right? Those who've deployed.
Absolutely.
And I just, like, let's get rid of all that garbage and let's show them what we're really made of, right?
Yeah, 100%. And we're seeing that. We're seeing a spike. We're seeing American Legions closing down. And the thing is, like 10 years ago, Chris, I was approaching them saying, hey, we should do this. We should do it. Can we put a gym in here? Can we do something that's what we like to do. The current warfighter, we like to stay fit, stay healthy, be productive. And that's what we need. And that's going to mitigate suicide, anxiety, and depression. If you got to play, just imagine that the Warfighter Sanctuary exists right now. You get out, you go over there. You don't go to a bar. Right. You don't sit in your house by yourself playing video games. You go, you know what? I'm going to play Xbox, but I'm going to go there. They get off at 5. I'll see who's out there. Let's sit down. Let's have a coffee. Let's talk. Hey, I'm selling this house, or I need an electrician, or hey, I got this great idea for this nonprofit. That's how I envision it. Going there to work out, stay fit. Or we have a bike club, where a bicycle club, a motorcycle club, different types of clubs. I already found folks that are willing to train us in jiu-jitsu for free because they love the concept. We could get so much sponsorships and so much support. It's just a matter of getting it off the ground. So where do we start? We start with Vetronet first, and then one day I'll get there in 5 years. Hopefully we're having this conversation again, and I can tell you where we're at, and you can come visit.
Yeah, no, I have full confidence that we will have at least the very first one up before 5 years is out. We got a lot of really big things happening behind the scenes.
Palm Beach County, isn't Trump pretty rich? Come on, Trump, I voted for you, bro. Look us up with a veteran sanctuary.
That's it. I like I said, man, I have no doubt that that's going to be a real thing. There's such a need for it that, and you are so disciplined and dedicated to your mission that it's only a matter of time, right? It's only a matter of time.
I'm fighting and grabbing every day.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing we're at the top of the hour, top of the 30 minutes already, which it goes by so fast.
Wow, that goes fast.
What I would love to leave it on, right, is one of the questions that I always thought was super powerful. So I kind of want to ask you, it. When you say you're on your deathbed and you are about to pass away, all your loved ones are around you, what is the number one thing you want them to remember you for?
man. That's a tough one. I haven't thought about it, but just to spit out, without even thinking too much, I would say my consideration of others, my sincere consideration of others. And I think that comes with my mom. I'm not a good person. I'm not, trust me, I'm not. But my mother instilled that in me since I was young, and in the Marine Corps and being in the military and serving just honed that. And I've dedicated my life to service. And it's interesting because, and that's what I would want to be known for, is my service and service to God, country, my brothers, my veterans, and actually mostly my veterans. And if folks remember, samurai means to serve. So I guess it would be for folks to remember my genuine and sincere efforts at serving others. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Andre, thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome chatting with you, sharing your vision with the world. Yeah. Any last minute things you would want to talk to the audience about before we sign off?
No. Well, I just want to do a quick plug for my other nonprofits.
Go for it.
Real quick. We have within my organization of 50 businesses, we have some nonprofits. We have Semper Fi Service Dogs, where we train. The owner the founder of that. I'm a board member, but he trains dogs. Well, they rescue dogs, then train those dogs to rescue veterans by acting as their trusted service dogs. And then we have another one called Vets on Board, which helps veterans with aquatherapy here in South Florida by taking them out on boats, snorkeling. Sounds trivial, but you know what? Veterans need an escape. Yeah. And going on the ocean is like going to another planet and getting away from everything to decompress. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Awesome. If someone wanted to get a hold of you to chat with you, to link up with Veterinet, to link up with any of the nonprofits, or maybe even buy a house from you in South Florida, how would they do it?
24/7, especially for veterans. You never bother me. Love you guys. I told you people go, oh, you love veterans because you're a veteran. I'm like, no, I loved veterans before I became a veteran. Now I have an honor to walk amongst them and be their peers. 305-542-0006 is my direct line, or you can email me, andreanthonyrivera@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, veteransresource.network.
Awesome, brother. And again, just thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And it was just a blast.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right, brother.
And so for everybody else out there listening, whether you're here live or here on the replay, thank you so much for being here, for tuning in. Let me know, did you enjoy this episode? The best way to let us know is smash that like button. It's the only way we really get to communicate with you other than the comments. So make sure you smash that like button so we know you enjoyed today's comment and you want more like it. If you have not already subscribed, make sure you go ahead and do so. If you had a huge takeaway from this episode, something that just blew your mind, lit that light bulb, had that aha moment for you, go ahead, drop that in the comments below so that we can, share in that with you. If you guys are looking to get a hold of Andre, give him a call, send him an email. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget, OBF is putting on a free workshop this weekend. Don't miss it. You will regret it. It's going to be freaking amazing. It's going to be the biggest one we've ever done and the most sought after one you've ever asked for. And right now, what we're saying, it is a cheat codes to an epic life that you've wished you've had from the start. So guys, with that, we'll see you next week. Have an amazing rest of your week. Peace.